Let me tell you this straight, without filters. Call it whatever you want. Human stupidity, according to Machiavelli. This is why we lose. Machiavelli understood it. A silent force that destroys empires, relationships, families, and futures. And almost no one sees it, because most people are part of it. People think stupidity is not knowing. Machiavelli would say something harsher. Stupidity is knowing, seeing, feeling, and still doing what destroys you. It's repeating what already failed. Walking toward the same cliff and blaming destiny, God, or the system. Human stupidity isn't lack of information. It's lack of courage to use it, lack of discipline to apply it, lack of humility to question yourself. That's why history repeats. The mistakes change costume, but never essence. If Machiavelli sat in front of you today, he wouldn't ask, "Are you good or bad?" He'd ask, "Are you useful or useless to your own goals? Do your actions protect your life, or do they sabotage it?" Because stupidity makes people partners of what they claim to hate. They hate poverty, but defend ideas that keep them poor. They hate manipulation, but feed on the messages that manipulate them. They hate being used, but chase the approval of those who disrespect them. Machiavelli would judge your decisions, not your pretty words. He'd see whether you act with strategy or if you're part of the crowd doomed to repeat failure. Human stupidity shows up every time someone ignores the knowledge that could change their life because thinking is too much effort. When someone knows they're not respected but stays out of fear. When someone repeats the same patterns and says, "I don't know why this always happens." Of course you know. You just don't want to face it. Stupidity isn't ignorance. It's voluntary blindness. People prefer the comfort of being victims instead of the responsibility of changing. That's why Machiavelli insisted on virtù, the ability to act, to shape destiny with decisions. The stupid don't act, they only react. They wake up when life hits them, and even then, they fall back asleep. History is full of this. Nations trading freedom for empty promises. Societies repeating failed ideas because they sound pretty. Generations ignoring warnings and then crying when disaster hits. The problem was never lack of signs, only lack of attention. Machiavelli saw that people fall in love with speeches, appearances, and illusions of safety. They ignore obvious facts just to avoid thinking for themselves. That's the core of human stupidity. Voluntary rejection of critical thinking. And it's dangerous because it hands power to those who do think, without morals. The stupidity of the many feeds the power of the few. Stupidity isn't making a mistake. It's repeating the same mistake as if it were new. Trusting the same liar. Returning to the same toxic place. Laughing at warnings because this time it'll be different. At that point, stupidity becomes a habit. Empires fall for the same vices. Leaders repeat the same arrogance. Societies swear never again, then welcome back what destroyed them. And you do the same with your health, money, and relationships. You keep what hurts you, justify it, give it endless chances, and then blame bad luck. But it's your consent. Stupidity also shows up in ridiculous priorities. People get offended at small things but ignore the chains that trap them. They fight online but can't sit 10 minutes to think about their life. They react to a phrase but not to the fact they're still stuck in a place they hate. That imbalance is fatal. Machiavelli wouldn't call it sensitivity. He'd call it bad management of attention. Your attention builds your future. Waste it on gossip, noise, and drama, and you're funding your own mediocrity. No saboteur needed. You sabotage yourself. And the softest form of stupidity? The need to belong at any price. Machiavelli wouldn't look at what you say, but at what you're willing to betray just to not be alone. How many times have you stayed quiet, agreed with what you dislike, or followed a harmful behavior just because everyone does it? That's where human stupidity hides, confusing normal with right, following the majority simply because it's the majority, and forgetting that the majority is often lost. Machiavelli knew that to control the masses, you mix fear, hope, and habit. The tragedy is that people accept that formula without ever asking who created it. That's when stupidity stops being personal and becomes culture. And you, what role do you play? You may think you're different because you study psychology, philosophy, power, the human mind. But even that becomes stupidity if you only collect information instead of transforming yourself. The system loves people who feel deep while staying harmless. You keep consuming content, but your actions, your limits, your discipline, and your environment remain the same. For Machiavelli, intelligence wasn't what you knew. It was what you did with what you knew. You can quote every thinker alive, but if you still tolerate disrespect, waste time, and react emotionally instead of strategically, that wisdom is decoration. Another face of stupidity is emotional chaos. Machiavelli distinguished between someone who feels and someone who is possessed by what they feel. The first uses emotion as data. The second becomes its slave. How many decisions have you ruined in anger, fear, or desperation? How many opportunities have you lost because you couldn't pause? People aren't evil, they just behave like it when they can't control their impulses, and that makes them easy to manipulate. He who cannot rule himself will always be ruled by others. If any of this sounds like you, don't defend yourself. Recognizing your own stupidity is the first act of true intelligence. The problem isn't having been stupid, it's staying stupid after noticing it. Every time you accept humiliation, return to what broke you, or kill your discipline for a quick pleasure, you sign your own sentence to repeat your history. Machiavelli wouldn't tell you to trust humanity. He'd tell you to trust the lucid minority, the few who dare to think differently. And that minority is gathering here. Not for comfort, but for strategy, clarity, and danger. If this message made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort means something inside you is tired of living on autopilot. Stay close to this kind of content, but go further. Join the community that trains mind, character, and strategy. Surround yourself with people who are done repeating the same story. The system needs distracted crowds. We are here to build dangerous minds, people who see the game and stop being pawns. That step is taken from the inside by committing to yourself and your evolution. Machiavelli would never bet on empty hope. He'd bet on those who dare to wake up. Machiavelli would never bet on blind hope. He'd bet on lucidity and action. And the only way to break the curse of human stupidity is to become ruthless with yourself in 3 areas: what you tolerate, what you believe, and what you repeat. What you tolerate sets the level of respect you receive. What you believe shapes every decision. What you repeat becomes your destiny. If you keep tolerating disrespect, you'll keep being disrespected. If you keep believing you're limited or powerless, you'll act like a loser even when opportunity appears. And if you repeat the same habits, the same circles, and the same excuses, you'll meet the same version of yourself year after year, just more tired. History repeats because people don't dare rewrite their personal script. But you're here to do exactly that, to see the script and refuse to perform it. Think of your life as a small state you must govern. You are the prince, the army, the people, and the internal enemies. Machiavelli wouldn't ask you to be perfect, just effective. So ask yourself, what internal laws will you set today? Maybe the law of never begging for affection again. The law of not giving your time for free to those who don't value it. The law of not arguing with anyone who refuses to understand. The law of treating your study, business, and growth hours as sacred. Every time you break your own laws, you reinforce your stupidity. Every time you obey them, even in silence, you strengthen your power. The world doesn't change because you post deep quotes. It changes when you start acting like someone who refuses to repeat the same story. And understand this: human stupidity will never disappear. It will fuel wars, scandals, toxic trends, and drama forever. Your job is not to save everyone. Your job is to get out of the cycle yourself, protect your mind, sharpen your judgment, and influence only those ready to listen. Machiavelli would respect the person who saves themselves first and then helps others, not the one who sacrifices themselves trying to rescue a crowd that doesn't want to wake up. Real compassion is living as an example of clarity, even if it makes you misunderstood or rejected. So ask yourself before you leave, do you want to be recycled by history like everyone else? If you truly feel you belong to this pack of wolves breaking out of the herd, then stay close. And if you want to go deeper and more strategic, consider joining the membership. Machiavelli understood something simple. Human stupidity will always exist, but a few choose to use it to their advantage. You must decide which side you're on. Now do one brutally honest exercise. Think of a moment in your life when you now say, "How was I so blind, so naive, so damn stupid?" Maybe it was a relationship full of red flags, a deal you signed without reading, a friend who only took from you, or a phase where you threw away money and time like you were immortal. In that moment, you believed you were doing the right thing. That's the trick of stupidity. It never feels like stupidity. It disguises itself as hope, love, excitement, intuition. Machiavelli would have seen the outcome clearly, not because he was a prophet, but because he understood one rule. When your desires speak louder than your data, you're lost. If you want to stop repeating history, you must do what stupidity hates. Learn to distrust your own impulses, not to hate yourself, but to observe yourself like a strategist. Before any big decision, ask, am I acting from a wound, from fear, from loneliness, from ego, or from strategy? Machiavelli wouldn't tell you to be emotionless, but he would tell you to freeze the moment, breathe, pause, look at the whole board. That single pause can save you from repeating an entire disaster. These small acts, reading twice before signing, waiting a day before saying yes, questioning your impulse to return to what already broke you, are anti-stupidity moves. They hurt at first, because your ego and your fear beg you to stay the same. But Machiavelli would only stand with you when you choose reality over fantasy, strategy over impulse, dignity over need. Now picture this, humanity walking in one long line toward a cliff, convinced it's normal. Some even singing. Once in a while, someone stops and realizes something is wrong. That moment of doubt is sacred. That's where awakening begins. Stupidity pushes you to keep walking. Machiavellian intelligence whispers, step out of the line. Maybe this video is that moment for you. Don't waste it. Don't go back to autopilot. Don't follow the crowd just because it's the crowd. Break the pattern, even if you stand alone at first. If you made it this far, you're not part of the average audience. Very few can look into this mirror without running away. So use it. Subscribe. Comment what hit you the hardest. Share this with someone who's about to repeat the same mistake. And if this message reached you at a deeper level, consider joining the membership, a tighter, sharper circle where we break down power, psychology, and the hidden traps of the system without filters. As Machiavelli knew, very few dare to truly use the mind they claim to have. The choice is yours. Break the cycle or feed it.